everyone, it's Maximus, and welcome to another speed build. Also, happy first year anniversary since the relaunch of this channel. In today's speed build, we have ourselves a shell challenge, which if you guys aren't familiar with the shell challenge, it is a challenge in The Sims 4 where you take a shell and you pretty much build it into whatever you want. Only thing is, you're not allowed to remove walls. With all that filler out of the way, and if you'd like to participate in this shell challenge, you can check out the shell on my EA ID, which is at monolevel 9, and you can use the hashtag CharlotteCake2025. So I will be looking through those builds and do a tour of them as a live stream, depending on how many participate. And also, do know I don't have all the packs, so don't feel bad if I can't get to your build because I'm lacking packs, but I will totally check it out through the screenshots, and I would love to see what you've done, and also I will try to have others check it out as well. And if I don't, for instance, get through your art through your shell, it's okay. And even so, if you still want to be participating in the shell challenge but you don't want to be going through the hashtag and stuff like that, that's okay too. I would love to see you just have some fun with it. As for the duration of time before I go looking for the shell, I would say probably the first week of March, so around March 1st, March 5th, I'll probably start looking for shells that are using this challenge. And if they don't, it's okay. I'll just look at them on my own time and then I just won't stream it. Now we can go on to my interpretation of this shell, which I turned this shell, which is something of a cake, a 3-layer cake if you can't already tell. I turned it into a bakery for our beloved Charlotte, who is a bittersweet sort of girl and does love her red velvet cake with a chocolate inside. So like her design, I was going for a bit of a red and black theme, but kind of more like a red and dark brown theme for a lot of it. If this is your first video that you're seeing on this channel, welcome. My name is Maximus and I play The Sims, usually. You can check me out. You can check out the videos, including our chaotic heartthrob Charlotte Valentine, down in the playlist below. And while you're there, why not turn that red Charlotte's favorite color into gray? Her second favorite color, that you can be a part of the fam. And also ring that bell so you can be notified whenever there's a new video or any sort of new content coming on the channel. So leave a like and comment down below. If you happen to be an OG that's just checking out this video, comment down below one of your favorite Charlotte videos so that all the newbies can get a head start on what they can expect in this channel. As you can see here, I've kind of started out with like this reddish brown, light brown tone. The trim actually comes from Island Living, and I just added these fences here along with these flowers to make some mini flower beds. Don't mind the issues of the sides, that is just curved walls, which it is what it is if you're familiar with working with curved walls. I'm just like going around adding some plants, making some flower beds, playing around with that, and technically I wanted to go for just get to work and base game, but a lot of what I wanted to use were in other packs. So I used these doors from Get to Work, which are like these, I guess, the boutique doors. And this paint that you see currently on the build, I do not keep. But outside here, I wanted to add some seating, which I do replace them with actual extra tables and chairs, because I figured that would be a lot more functional. If it were like a bakery in real life, wouldn't you like the idea of, eating your cake outside after you just purchased a slice and whatever? So tables with the umbrellas, and I just added a couple of chairs just to be decorative but also functional. I added some of these corbels, well, not corbels, like the little balls. It's a base game item, but I added those as like the cream decor that you can put on a cake. And I wanted the outside to be as much cake as possible, and then I added like the little banners from Seasons, but with those little streamer banners it just did not work out. And yeah, this is when I changed it up. I also changed the wallpaper to be this one that I think is base game, and it just has like this nice little, it's an indoor wallpaper, but it just has this nice little divide of brown at the bottom for I think like the trim down below, as you can see. And it just looks so good. So I just had to turn everything into like that dark brown. Window boxes, and I was trying to go through here and see if I could add some red icing for the top, but I just could not find a red that was working for me. So I just went for brown, and this one just happened to work out perfectly. And you know, handling the curves, you have to make sure all the corners are covered, and that's what I did. And now we move on to the interior, which I have like a couple of these island counters here, and I just kind of make it, I put the register here for like the retail lot. Get to Work has a retail system where as long as you have a register in a lot that is not your own, you can sell whatever you want. So for this shop, we're doing a bakery, and I've just decided to add a couple of indoor windows. If this were a real place, you could watch the chefs in the back. The servers, or at least the cashiers, will ring you up your meal, and you know, you get your cakes pretty much from there. And then in this corner here, I add entry to the kitchen space, and initially both sides were going to be a bathroom situation, but I just, because the space was so big that I could put multiple stalls in, I converted the one on the left side employee lounge, if you will. Very small employee lounge, but employee lounge nonetheless. Here we are in the kitchen again, where I wanted to go for a red, but it just felt too overbearing, so I found this very nice brown swatch actually, and I thought it was a bit more appealing, at least to the eyes. Then I just went with these counters from base game for the majority of the kitchen. So I set up a little island space, and then I put all the rest of the cabinets, stoves, and supplies all along the wall. Perfect for any sort of like baker or bakery sort of style here. So yeah, here I am just replacing these two pockets with stoves. So there's like at least, yeah, I put these stoves together. But yeah, so we have a double stove action here. We have a sink, and here we are kind of working through a bit of the cash register area. I put the two registers together, and then I added a stool at the end with a computer protection system with sprinklers, because you never know what you're going to be getting especially when you're cooking and your cooking skill is not that great. Along the wall there, so we just have the one fridge, because honestly more than one fridge just gets very complicated in The Sims 4. I added a bookshelf, so it'd be like if the kitchen has like a bunch of recipes, that's where they put their recipe books. And I added a couple of trash bins, and here are the mixers. So I've added like I think 3 along the counter here, so you have 3 of them going at the same time. I also added a waffle maker, for instance, if you want to sell waffles. I know there's some sweet waffles that you can make, so you could totally do that as well. And pretty much after that, I just did a bunch of clutter. So I added some of the kitchen utensils. I also added, I believe I added the book that also comes with Home Chef Hustle, which if you love cooking in The Sims, or you just enjoy watching your Sims cook and you want it like that realistic vibes, Home Chef Hustle is really like a really good pack for that realistic cooking vibe. I took these little cake, I added a corkboard on the wall, some placards, some Employee of the Month, some first simoleons, just to be a validation of how good the chefs are in this bakery. And then I just finished off overhanging lights from Get to Work. So that's primarily what the kitchen space is looking like. I turned this little nook here into the employees lounge, but I added like a little games section here. They have the bulletin board that they can, you know, check in their times and stuff like that. The bulletin board comes from Parenthood, and it's just there to, you can use it to, in your residential, you can use it to set up the time that your child's allowed to be out, and also you can put up post-it notes and pictures. And then I thought like this really cute thing here, like if you have like, because I didn't have room to put in lockers, at least I didn't really think to put in lockers. And I also added like another bulletin board from this time from university. But I took these aprons, and then I grabbed these photo frames from Moschino. But I was thinking like for each of these frames you have like a photo associated with an employee that you can hang up on the wall for the different aprons that are worn. So that's kind of like employee tags for each individual that works here. And then I have like a tiny little entryway to hang up their coats, a mirror for them to check make sure that they look good when they're about to go back out to the, you know, either working at the register or they're gonna go back into like the kitchen. And then I added a sofa here. That's just a small little 2-seater. And on the wall, I added the get to work TV. So it's functional, it's tight, and it's perfectly functional. And you can sit at the games table as well, and I believe, and you can play games. Everybody is accessible and watch TV as well. And I just added this because I didn't have much storage and it was a very small space. I added this sort of cabinet. It's just a surface, so it's not functional by any means, but it'll be like a nice place to put like any of their things while they're working. And I just added like a few plants on the sides as well, because I tried to add a window there, but because of the curve it did not look that great. And I just think if this is the only wall with a curve, it wouldn't work out, since the other side is a bathroom, which now we are at the bathroom. And for this one, I just pretty much did 2 little stalls. The square one has a changing table, but both of them have a toilet for adults, for older Sims, and toddlers. I added this little toddler potty. So again, if you bring your family and you have a toddler, because toddlers definitely don't come when you're running the retail. It's mostly children and not. But I added the little toddler potties, and I did something really cute here. I took the toilet paper rolls and I took a little decal that's like a little flower decal, and I put the flower decal behind the potties so that you know, the kids could be entertained. And I gave them I shrunk it down, but I gave them a little toilet paper roll, which is so cute. And then here we just have the sinks. I just went for like a mirror wall and added a few of those soap dispensers and light switches and the paper towel dispensers. And then along the wall, because it was blank when you're walking in, I decided to add like a little picture, so you got something to look at. Because I feel like, at least for most of the public restrooms, even if like designated public restrooms, either a restaurant or sometimes bakeries, they have like a photo of something at the end. It's either a how to wash your hands for employees, or it's just like some intricate design. So that's what I did here, and that's pretty much the bathroom. So we're gonna go back to the main area, which is where all of the activity for the majority of your gameplay, should you run this bakery. Which, by the way, this bakery it is currently over 170,000 simoleons. I think it was 173 and some change. But yeah, it's a hefty place. But in my defense, it's not only just a bakery. We have an upstairs single bedroom apartment, which we will see shortly. But here we are back in the main room. I divided the open space here with a archway instead of just leaving it open. Here I made like a line setup, so I have a sign that you can get from Get Together, which is a plaque sign, and that's in place of the line starts here sort of vibes. And then I add like additional seating outside the bathroom space. So for instance, if you're in a line and you just need a place to sit. Over here is kind of like a little private seating space. It's also access to the employees, but it's pretty much off in its own corner where, again, if you happen to buy cakes here, maybe you can also buy some coffee. We have a coffee maker. You can just chill here. I added a couple books at the end of the hall, so if anything, you could just the employees could probably even just relax here on their breaks enjoy some pastries. Just a nice little cozy corner on the side here. You got the floor to ceiling windows that you can look out onto the rest of the shopping area, which we are, if you are not familiar, I did mention this earlier, but we are building in the Magnolia Promenade, which is the world that came with Get to Work. That's where we're located. I didn't mention that earlier, but now you know. And yeah, I just added like a couple of curtains. I was struggling a bit to find ones that fit the vibe, but then I found these base game curtains that have like the nice wood trim at the top that just covered up these windows nicely, because exterior is the dark brown, but for whatever reason the interior is white, so I just covered it up with. Then I added a couple of candles into the center of each table to again give it that cozy vibe. It could be like a little tea light candle. And on the wall I just added, after that I did add a couple more lights around just to lighten up the room a bit. And then on the archway on the other side I did use like a curtain to cover it up, to give it the illusion that if you wanted to, you could just close up that. And then we move on to the upstairs. The upstairs is a whole apartment of its own. It was a bit challenging to deal with this. Unfortunately, this wardrobe is not functional, sadly, because I guess because of the curve, the tile is not big enough for two Sims to get in there. So I just added a mirror in there. There's a proper dresser in the single bedroom, so if you do want to have your Sim get changed in like a dresser or situation, they could totally do that, but unfortunately they can't use the closet. I could have adjusted it, but it would have taken up so much space, and I do like kind of how this is its own walk-in closet sort of thing. You're going to walk into this entryway from the door. There's a seating here, and then over here I add some mailboxes here, and then I added a little frame with a shelf so that it looks like the shelf is holding up the frame here, and then a couple of clutter items and the usual hanging stuff. Also, the rest of the house is up on a platform, so your Sims will be going up a step. And I used this welcome mat from the Holiday Traditions challenge that was back in December. This is where I'm gonna put like a little kitchen, sort of U-shaped kitchen. I initially was going to try to put the oven here because I went through a few variations, but with how small the rooms were getting, I had to expand it a bit, so I pretty much made the kitchen like this. And then over here is kind of the main living entertainment space. I have a little fireplace from Eco Lifestyle. I wanted to go for the red theme because the inside walls are brown in this part of the apartment. So I wanted to go for something a little more sleek, a little more chic, maybe a little modern. So I went for these black chairs, and then I discovered this, I believe it's a cats and dogs rug? Or I believe. Oh, no, it's vintage glamour? I don't remember. It's a nice, like, wine red rug, and I was just like, okay, I have to find something to go with this because it looked so good. And I did find it in the cats and dogs chair that happened to be like the perfect shade to just go with it. Like, it looked good in black theme, and I did change the rug because I just couldn't find something that worked with it. And I did try to mix and match my cabinets, but they just were not slotting in with these perfect kitchen stuff pack, which I do like those cabinets, but they just were not vibing with the other ones as I had hoped, and I didn't want to have to use so much modification just to make it work, so I went for these ones from Spa Day. And along the wall here I just added a few shelves and a couple of plants. I actually used the urn technique. I usually don't use them, but I've seen so many builders use them, so I was like, I'll try out the little urn technique and just make those look like little mixing containers. And then we have our dining table, which I started, but then I decided to change from this glass top to this wooden top because it just fit the vibes better, and worked with these chairs, which were part of a base game update a couple of years back now. And I decided to use candles from Seasons. I wanted to initially use these that had like the holly in the middle, but I decided to well, actually no, these candles come from Get Together, and I used the floral the floral decor from Seasons to be like the trail in the middle, so it has such a cute romantic vibe because you know our Charlotte is romantic. So I did that, and then I added a couple of these paintings from Modern Lux to just keep up that femininity, because this is a very feminine, chic sort of Sims house. And I took these lights, these spotlights, and I put them around. And now we're in her office space, which is kind of joined into the dining room because there's no like separate room for it. I was also checking the curved walls because sometimes things just clip through there. So I was just making sure that it wasn't clipping as I was making changes, because boy oh boy, these curves, oh, they were something. And then I tried a couple of poofs for like extra seating and also putting a plant on. So this is kind of her office space while she's up here, probably making orders for delivery, which by the way, I'm thinking of doing a vacation episode, so do leave down in the comments below any sort of vacation destinations that you're thinking. I do have Sulani and I do have Mount Komorebi as like the two vacation-y places, so between those two, like, give me some ideas for some vacation sort of activities we could do other than like rock climbing and going to the sauna and stuff like that. But yes, here we are in the bedroom space, and I liked this bed from Vintage Glamour because it just fit the vibes. And I think these side tables came from Modern Lux, I want to say. And I do modify the direction of everything because I added a vanity table and there was no space for pretty much getting to the bathroom, which I low-key forgot for a bit, but then I remembered. So I do make some modifications to the bed, and it's still functional. Both sides are easily accessible. And for the curtains, I just use these curtain rods from the Desert Luxe kit, and I just put them up carefully on top of the topmost part of the curtain, and that gives it the impression that it's moved through all. So after the bathroom, that's pretty much almost it. Like, after this, it's just the upstairs, which I added a cupcake table and a little table to enjoy the cupcakes up there, because you're going to be going up and down a ladder if you try to carry that with you. And then I have a little chess table just for some activities. It's a little flex room, so if you download this, you could always replace the cupcake table if you want to. I'm gonna leave you guys right here, and don't forget, if you're going to use the shell, which is also available, it's called 1 Year Cake, but you can also look it up with the hashtag Charlotte Cake 2025. Make sure you also use that so I can check out your guys' shells. But do stick around to the end because I have a little montage, if you will, of the place actively being used. So until next time we meet, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys on the live stream back on my Twitch. Until then, bye bye.